The basics have always been the answer, and they will continue to. There's some things that are as old as the sun and will continue to be a staple within life and reality no matter what. And it can be the same with fitness, finances, and practically every other answer within your life. If you master the basics, you will win no matter what. And so I'm going to break down a couple different areas of life where the basics have always been the answer and how to actually go about using the basics to be successful. And we'll start with fitness. First and foremost, when it comes to fitness, the basics are always going to help you win. Find one program, one routine, and complete that routine religiously. If you know you're trying to build muscle, you need a few exercises with 10 to 12 reps, maybe 8 to 12 reps that you're trying to complete over 3 to 5 sets, and you will start to go far. It's not complicated. You need to do the most basic, simple thing. If you're looking to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. People will talk about starvation mode, people will talk about different diseases you have. It does not matter at the end of the day. If you eat less calories than you burn, you will lose weight, you will lose mass, and you will be able to get fitter. Now, obviously, if you're very small and you're not eating enough, you will not be able to get the body you want. But that's the point. Look to the basics. Most instances, you genuinely already know the answer. If you want to get more reps or if you want to increase your weight when you're benching, bench more, slowly add more weight, and make sure that you're controlling it. Make sure that you're resting. Everything else is a non factor. Let's be simple with this. The basics are the answer. Now we're going to look at finances. And this one I'm going to expand on a little bit more than fitness because I have a lot of fitness videos planned. But when it comes to finances, the same thing that worked thousands of years ago are the same things that will work now. And I'm actually going to do a video breakdown on the richest man in Babylon because it tells you the answers of finance. That book was literally in Babylon. It was made in Babylon. Somebody found the scrolls in like 1983, I think was the year. And they ended up transcribing that and building out an actual book from something written before Jesus was born. Before Jesus was born. And finance principles from that scroll still apply today. First and foremost, if you want to have money, you need to manage your money well. The process to start your pockets to fatten begins with this: 10% of all that you earn is yours to keep. Under no circumstance, any option, no matter what, when you make $1, 10 cents gets put away. When you make $10, $1 gets put away. When you make $100, $10 get put away. It doesn't matter how small or how incremental it has to be. 10% of all you earn is yours to keep. And if you can't make that happen, you need to either give up some things or you need to go get a new job. This is the basics. 10% of all you earn is yours to keep. Then, if you want to get your money to increase, take some of that 10% and invest it somewhere safe that will continually increase your profit. It's better to go for a small increase than put your money where it's risky and lose it all. So if you can find a handful of safe investments where you're knowing people who can help guide you in the right direction and you put your money there, you will start to make more money. Back in high school, I was in a class called DECA, which was like a business class. We went and did a couple events and stuff like that. But during one section, our teacher, my old freshman football coach, Darren Ringer, great man, love that man so much. He was teaching us about investing, and he said if we opened up a Roth IRA at 18 and put $100 a month until we were 25, we would end up having $1 million by the time we retired. But if you waited just until you were 27 to put in that same, actually, if you waited until 27 and invested 500 every single month until you were 40, you would still end up with less money than the person who started at 18 years old. And so if you're younger than 18, if you're 18, if you're less than 25, Start investing today. You may not have $100 you can put away, but if you put 50 and increase over time as you make more money, you can still do the same process. The basics have always been the answer. Now, when it comes to making more income, it's going to be the exact same thing. Look at the basics. To make money, you must sell something. How do you sell something? You create an offer that brings value to people. Don't complicate it more than that. So for me, prime example, if I wanted to be able to make more money, I could say, I know the I know the process to make someone fit. If you pay me $3,000, I will help you lose 30 pounds. You're paying $1,000 to lose 10 pounds. And I can categorically say, if you follow and listen to what I say, it will happen. And so all you have to do is stop talking, give me some money, and then do what I say from this moment forward, and you're going to lose your 30 pounds. If I tell enough people that, and enough people know that I have the ability to truly help them lose those 30 pounds, people will pay me that $3,000. You build an offer, a very simple offer, one that you can execute on, and then you go and sell it. You market it. You talk to people and know what their problems are. Answer the problems they have. Answer the questions they have. Give them the belief and conviction in your ability to get them where they want to go, and people will put money in your hands. Finances have always been simple. We choose to complicate it based on what the market's doing or what's happening in the White House or what's happening across the world. But at the end of the day, if you can build an offer that brings value to enough people at a price point where those people can pay for it, you will always have a consistent stream of money. Now, say you end up building that offer out. You end up getting 10 people to pay you $3,000. Now you have 30,000. That means 10% of all you earn is yours to keep. So 3,000 of that gets put away. And now that you've been able to put away that 3,000, then you need to take an extra portion of that 30,000 that you made, which is now 27,000, and you need to invest it in a slow, safe investment and continue that process. That's all you need to do, and you will become as rich as you want to be. Maybe you'll have to increase how much you're selling your services for. Maybe you'll have to increase how much you're saving. Maybe you'll have to increase how much you're investing. Maybe you have to go the other route and lower how much you're paying in expenses. But at the end of the day, getting wealthy, getting where you want to go in terms of finances only comes down to those few things. Save 10% of everything you earn. Invest a good portion of everything you earn in something slow and something safe. And then find a way to make more money, which comes through selling. And to sell, you need to create an offer and you need to tell enough people about that offer. Outside of that, anything else finance related is, for the most part, a non-factor. Then we can go and look at, for me, content. If I want to grow on social media, the answers are so simple, and I complicate it myself. So this portion is me genuinely just talking to myself. The only answer is post regularly, take notes on my thoughts, and then connect with other creators. If I connect with enough creators who have ideas and things that can help me post content better and create more, I'm going to start getting more results. If I think about something and I take notes on it so that I have a constant stream of ideas to talk about on content, I will always be able to record a video. And if I'm always able to record a video, and I do, then I will always have a video I'm able to post. And if I post regularly, then everything else falls into place. Now, with each and every single one of these, there are some nuances that could end up making the entire process a little bit slower or a little bit faster. And if I optimize this or I optimize that, I may be able to get more results. But at the end of the day, the basics are what's going to be your pillars, your foundation, what is really going to move the needle. Posting videos, having ideas, and connecting. That's all social media is. And so, when you get into your process, no matter what it is, these are 3 things you need to make sure you know. The simple work is always going to be the best answer. If you do the boring work, you will win. 80% of the battle is simply showing up. And now I'm going to break each one of those down. First, I already explained it, but the simple work is the answer. If anything you're trying to do in life seems complicated, seems challenging, then give up any part of that seems difficult. Any part of that seems challenging. Go back to the bare bones basics and get better at that. Then reattempt whatever is causing you struggle, and I promise you'll be able to get through it far better. Now, in most instances, when things get challenging, when hardships start to pop up, we try and look for the complicated answer and we try and major in the minors. And all that really means is we start trying to get all the information on the least important things. But when we actually take a step back and say, what is the thing that's going to make the most difference? It's always going to be that simple answer. For me, I wanted to figure out how to blow up on social media, how to do this, how to get 1 million followers, how to do that. When I really scraped back everything and looked at what was going to make a change for me, it was posting. Sit here, look at a camera, record what I think, and post it. Making a thumbnail, that's great. Editing a video and putting in B-roll and sound effects and sound design, and that's all amazing. It'll all definitely help. But what's actually going to get results is a video going up. Whether or not it has a whether or not it has a thumbnail, whether or not it has a description, whether or not I've optimized everything for SEO. If I post, I'm giving myself a chance to win. And that's all it is. From there, if you do the boring work, you will win. The big thing is, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's social media, whether it's finances, whether it's even if you're trying to go get a girl, when you do the boring work, you will win. When it comes to fitness, people want to, oh, I need this perfect workout that's going to sculpt my abs in this long. All it comes down to is doing some sit ups and crunches. It's boring. It's tiring. It doesn't seem glamorous, but that's what's going to cause you to win. As a receiver, you want to practice all these releases. Running routes. At the end of the day, if you get off someone trying to jam you, you go run your post and you do your move and get up, you're going to win. Now, all the fancy stuff, all the glamorous stuff, it's great, it's cool, it's amazing. But 9 times out of 10, that's all it is. Glitter looks cool on a female's face. It adds and enhances everything. But at the end of the day, if the female has a chopped up face and she, hi, some glitter's only gonna do so much for how you're like, oh, cool, you got some glitter. You know what I mean? If you you can drive a Bugatti, you could drive a Corvette, you could drive a Honda, you could ride a bike. The simple work getting A to B is going to be the same in all of them. The only difference is the perception of the people who look at you getting from point A to B. But at the end of the day, if you end up showing on time, it doesn't matter what you were in. The simple, boring work is what's going to make you win. And then 80% of the battle is showing up. Now, in terms of social media, in terms of fitness, in terms of everything, 80% of what you need to win comes down to showing up. Because once you've shown up, then you're going to be inclined to do the work. Even if you don't want to, just the fact that you're there, you're more than likely going to be inclined to actually do it. And a lot of people, they want to have the most complicated answer. They want to know every single step. They want to know what's going to make them blow up as fast as possible. But in the process of trying to learn all that information, they never actually show up and do what they're supposed to. For me, I wanted to get every single answer for YouTube. For me, I wanted to get every single answer for Instagram, for Threads. I wanted to know what's the perfect way to go about all of this. And in the process, I never grew and I never changed because I never actually recorded videos, I never actually posted, and I never actually showed up. You can never get in a game that you're not at. You can never help a team that you're not playing with. You can never get the body you want if you don't work out in some sense. And so showing up is going to be the most important thing, because without showing up, nothing gets done. Without showing up, you have no chance. But once you show up, then you start doing the simple stuff and you continue with that boring stuff, you become indomitable. You become a force of nature that nobody can deny. Because when other people give up because it's boring, you're able to keep going. When everybody gives up because what they're doing is too complicated, you keep going because you did what was simple. When everybody else is like, I'm done and I'm not showing up anymore, and you've mastered the art of showing up and doing what's necessary. Not doing more than necessary, not doing extra, just doing what you're told, or doing what you're called for, or doing what is necessary, then things will change. I can promise that. When you do the easy and executable steps, you will win no matter what. And the reason is this. First, you'll feel confident in your execution. Second, you'll get reps in, and the reps are what's going to make the biggest difference. Then, you'll add to your knowledge often. Now, this is what I really want to key in on from these few things. The easy, simple, repeatable steps make the most difference because specifically you get the reps. I've talked about it a couple times throughout this video, but a lot of people want to take time to learn this information and get all the tools, tips, and keys to success before actually putting in the work. But 90% of that happens while you're actually in the middle of the process. Because prime example is when it came to video editing, I would watch videos on how to do this editing technique, how to do that, but I never actually learned how to do it. I never actually had the knowledge because of the fact that I wasn't doing it in the moment while watching that video. I had the knowledge, I could remember the video, and I remember what I was told the steps were, but it wasn't until I actually put a video on the timeline, started trying to break it down and chop it up, that I realized, oh, this is what that person was saying. This is what that video was telling me. And it's going to be the same for you. If you're sitting here researching the best and most optimal ways to work out, what's the best workout routine for your shoulders, but you don't go to the gym and actually move some weight, you're wasting time. It's a waste of energy. You're not getting the reps in, so you're not adding to your knowledge, you're not adding to your skill, and you're not adding to the execution of what you're actually doing. And so, because of that, you're not making any progress. But even more than that, you're not able to see any progress that could be made because you're just sitting on the sideline. And so, I really want you to dive deep and get to the understanding that the answer has always been simple. You already know the answer to everything you want in life. You know how to change. You know how to get fit. You know how to make money. You know how to save money. You know how to manage money. And if you don't, get these simple answers. I've broken it all down. If you can get the simple answers and repeat it, when you're bored, you continue. You will be infallible. Okay, you won't be infallible, but you will be indomitable. Nobody or nothing under the sun will be able to actually stop you on your journey as long as you do the simple, easy, boring work. Because the simple work is what makes the difference. The simple work is what makes you grow. The simple work is what makes you win. And you know what that simple work is. So now go do it. Now you stay smart, stay safe. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next video.